Hello everyone, this is Max here, and I hope you all had a good weekend. Some of you who have followed the channel for some time may remember the research video I did on Thomas's artist, Alexander Reginald Payne, and presented my findings on his life story. It's almost going to be a year now since I published that video, and I wanted to do something to coincide with that. The original plan was to purchase some of the boy's own paper magazines that he illustrated and wrote, although they seem to have gotten stuck in the mail, so that has been put on hold for now. However, in the midst of all this searching through secondhand booksellers, I came across this one particular listing, a book from around 1934 titled The Boy's Book of Railways. The seller's description of cover illustration by A.R. Payne caught my attention, and as the art style looked similar, I went ahead and purchased it. When the book arrived, it was in a rough state. The cover was slowly wearing away, and the spine had long since disappeared, the pages only being held by strain, which I wasn't surprised by as the book was nearly 90 years old. In the bottom right-hand corner of the cover is a signature proclaiming A.R. Payne, which also matched the inscription on one of his early drawings for the boy's own paper. Turning the cover over, it is advertised that this book was one of 4 Boy's Book of titles all relating to transportation, including motor cars, aircraft, and ships, the last one being Payne's specialty during his time at the boy's own paper. It is also shown that the book was a publication from Waddy Production, and from what I can find online, it was mostly a card and board game business in the mid to late 1930s, but they did publish a few picture books during their time. The book's story begins with Dick Wallace, a boy who, with his father, Mr. Wallace, go to see the Cheltenham Flyer pass by. During their wait, Mr. Wallace explains to Dick about the early days of the railways, with Reginald Payne illustrating the story with engines such as Cornwall and locomotion. After the Cheltenham Flyer passes, Mr. Wallace discusses the various wheel arrangements, including the first Pacific built in Britain, the Great Bear. I want to talk about this for a minute. So this is a theory I have had brewing since I got this book. When Reginald Payne was drawing Henry, he was taking inspiration from his previous sketch of the Great Bear. Both were 462s and were known to be failed engines. The one nod to this possible connection is Henry's copper cap chimney, a feature mostly known for being on Great Western engines, like the Great Bear. Returning to the book, Dick, now more interested in railways than ever, asks his father if he could be taken to London to see more famous trains. The next day, they travel through the Underground to King's Cross, where they watch the departure of the Flying Scotsman. In the afternoon, Mr. Wallace took Dick to Victoria Station, where they could watch passenger trains of the Southern Railway, including the Electric Southern Belle and the Golden Arrow Pullman. After a visit to Euston Station to see the arrival of the Royal Scot, the two return home, with Mr. Wallace concluding his history lesson with the railways abroad, from the mammoth engines in North America to the luxurious express trains in Europe. That is The Boy's Book of Railways, by Reginald Payne. It's not much of a story. If anything, it's just textbook material sewn together into a narrative, but what it makes up for in its writing is its illustrations. Payne drew over 40 detailed sketches for this book, and there's a lot to take in from his work. He illustrated locomotives from countries such as France to famous ones like the city of Truro. There are also scenes of engines clearing snow and the demonstration of the traveling post office. Payne didn't only draw a book of railways, he drew the world of railways. If you'd like to read The Boy's Book of Railways yourself, I've put together a PDF of the pages, which you can find the link to in the video description. The search for Reginald Payne, for me at least, is still ongoing. I'm probably not going to be satisfied until we uncover a photograph of the man. Then I'll probably be content. But I'm happy to see that his art is gradually coming into recognition, and I am excited to share more of it very soon. Until then, this is Click Clack Track, signing off.